Another Riyadh comedy festival thing I forgot to talk to you about the other day. This is regarding Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle had some very interesting comments to say about his time performing at the Riyadh Comedy Festival. Like some very interesting comments. This is courtesy of the New York Times. The title is "A Saudi Comedy Fest: American Free Speech Becomes the Punchline." Let's hear what was said here. For weeks, ridicule poured in against American comedians set to perform this week in Saudi Arabia, a country not known for its civil liberties. But by the time they took to the stage, the comedians had turned the joke on the U.S. free speech. The quote: "Right now in America, they say that if you talk about Charlie Kirk, that you'll get cancelled," comedian Dave Chappelle quipped on a Saturday at the Riyadh Comedy Festival, the first event of its kind in Saudi Arabia. "I don't know if that's true, but I'm gonna find out." A headline act, Mr. Chappelle was met with whoops and cheers and applause as he told an audience of 6,000, "It's easier to talk here than it is in America." Jesus Christ, Dave Chappelle. Jesus Christ. That is some next level bootlicking. It's easier to talk here than it is to talk in America. Are you sure though? Are you really sure about that? Are you sure about that? Or are you just trying to appease the people that have invited you over there? Don't worry, your wire's gonna clear. You don't need to suck up this much. You know what I mean? He's doing way too much. He's doing way too much. Though happening thousands of miles away from the United States in the conservative Saudi kingdom, Mr. Chappelle's act taped into the strange currents of the American politics that were coursing through the streets. He was performing in Riyadh at the same time as a divisive free speech debate was rolling in fucking United States. It began after the late night TV show host Jimmy Kimmel was briefly pulled from the airways after growing criticism by some conservatives and federal regulators over the monologue about the killing of far-right activist Charlie Kirk. Mr. Kimmel returned to television last week. Despite the furor, President Trump called the regulators to reconsider. More than 50 of the biggest names in American and West American comedy have been scheduled to perform at the Riyadh Comedy Festival, which runs through to October 9th. Fucking hell. It's going on for ages, isn't it? So it just finished today. Or yesterday. Damn. The acts were paid by the Saudi government, which harshly curtails free speech, and ideal many of those in some comedian claim to be championed. That's actually a good point, isn't it? As a comedian, you're essentially by default a bastion of free speech. So they just decide to go to a country where speech is not free at all. It's absolutely hilarious, man. It really is. Mr. Chappelle has talked frequently about being cancelled after an uproar caused by the jokes mocking the trans people, but in Riyadh he also took aim at a recent special of Jimmy Kimmel. Like other comedians at the event who said that they felt muzzled by the American political correctness, Mr. Chappelle revealed that he is making uncouth jokes in Saudi Arabia, yet he overlooked an 8-year crackdown that has led to many of the country's writers, business people, activists, clerics, and social media influencers being arrested. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. The irony was not lost on the Saudi audience, who marveled at the idea of watching political satire skewering the United States in their once famously austere Islamic society. "I found it so interesting to hear political jokes targeting Trump and Charlie Kirk," says Abdul Rahman Mohammed, a 23-year-old dentist. He said it was surprising to hear him talk about it in Riyadh anyway, when he recently American cancelled Jimmy Kimmel's during the same time, blah, blah, blah. Playing the host of major entertainment events like the comedy festivals is part of Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030. Oh shit. It's part of an entire agenda, this comedy gig. Vision 2030 agenda. Spearheaded by the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the plan aims to diversify the kingdom's economy, which is highly dependent on oil, and create more relaxed social environment for overseas visitors, investors, and ordinary Saudis alike. It's part of a whole grand plan. So I guess culturize or whatever, turbo culture. Okay, I get it. I ain't mad at that. I really ain't mad at that whatsoever. That sounds pretty fly. Me like it. That sounds pretty crazy. So we're gonna probably hear more comedy festivals from them between now and 2030. They might even open. Imagine they open up a mothership over there. Imagine they open up a mothership, or they open up a comedy store franchise in there. I wonder if they do that. I wonder if they will do something like that. That would be fucking hilarious. For Saudis, the event featuring stars like Kevin Hart, Jimmy Carr, Bill Burr was a sign of how the country was changing. Music, once effectively prohibited in public, thumped through the loudspeakers outside of DJs, spun techno remixes of Jennifer Lopez and 50 Cent. Cool. The festival had been held at Bowerville or Bolivar City, a sprawling entertainment complex with a quarter designed to resemble fucking Travis Scott or Times Square. Sorry, Travis Scott. Young Saudis gathered in mixed spaces beneath the glare to giant screens rather than the watchful gaze of the once feared religious police, whose powers are stripped by the Crown's Prince as part of the reform drive. Ah, okay. So the police's powers are also stripped to accommodate for all this shit. When women in flowing black abayas paired with jeans and t-shirts mingled with women in conservative face veils with men, many of whom sported white robes known as tawab or fab, I don't know how you pronounce that, tawab or tawab or thawab or faribi, however you pronounce that word right there, along with a baseball cap. Still, societal transformation has its limits. Political humor was warmly received, the sex jokes not so much. Jesus, imagine one of those guys got beheaded. Can you imagine how crazy that would be? Fucking hell. When the comedian Cypher Sounds was there. What the fuck, really? When oh yeah, because Cypher Sounds performs with Dave Chappelle, innit? My bad, yeah. Cypher Sounds began a gag about men airdropping. That's quite nice about Cypher. That's quite nice about Dave Chappelle, innit? I wonder if ever Carti made sure that they fitted Cypher Sounds on the lineup. That's a pretty cool sick. I'm not gonna lie, I quite like that. What was it again? Saudi's authorities have loosened societal restrictions. They have also whittling away at the space for domestic political discourse. For that reason, the comedians who performed at the festival have faced harsh criticism from rights organizations and other comics. They accuse participants of art washing, along with performances to draw attention away from the Saudi government. Yeah, I totally get all that. I think I spoke about most of that as well. So let's continue. Joey Shia, a researcher at Human Rights Watch, said that the festival came at the same time as a crackdown on free speech, which, you know, is crazy. Crazy situation all around. In the audience, Mr. Hart performance on Sunday, some Saudis argued that refusing to engage with their country was not the answer. It doesn't mean we should be cut off from the world, and vice versa, said yeah, if we want to call it, you know, whatever, it's weird. In the past, Prince Mohammed has defended the political crackdown as a necessary step in the country's reshaping, saying it's a small price to pay for to get rid of the extremists and terrorism without evil civil war. Jesus Christ. Mr. Hart acknowledged the public controversy, but I love what you're doing on here. I'll continue being a positive ambassador. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. These guys are just making it so much longer. They could just say, look, I've got kids, I've got a family, I've got a wife, I like furniture. It is, I mean, just, it is what it is. Or just make a haul. That's what you should do. Take whatever money that was made and just buy like a massive crazy haul. You know, just do everything and just go fucking nuts, and obviously just sit there. I love that. Ahead of the event, Jim Jeffries invited a performer and told the podcast this past weekend that festival goers had involved some edgy comedians. Not every comedian took up Saudi Arabia's offer. Some said that they had declined to perform. American comedian Atsuko Okasuka, who boycotted the festival, posted screenshots of what they were paid or what they were, and said she were parts of the contract. No, according to the post, organizers prohibited any material. Whatever, cool. We know that already. Any material. One comedian, Tim Dillon, who was upfront about how much money he'd motivated him to perform or know how much money motivated the factor for him to perform. He was later dropped by organizers after making slavery jokes about immigrants workers in the kingdom. They said he was offered 375,000. Fucking hilarious, honestly. Why is she smiling like that? I don't really know she's smiling like that. But yeah, she's been granted at least some more time in there. You know what I mean? Some more time. Some more freaking time. But let's see how it plays out, man. I think by next week this all dies down. Hopefully this all dies down by next week because I'm bored of it already. I'm absolutely bored of this or fucking ready.